Hello again, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Nowhere Videos Meat and Potatoes, the program that shows you easy recipes for great food. I'm Mark Johnson. I'll be your host and chef for this edition, and I'm going to be making a wonderful chicken Verde casserole, and I think you'll enjoy this treat very much. It's kind of almost like a chicken enchilada type dish, but it's a little different. So we're going to spice it up a little bit too with a secret ingredient that I use. So, okay, not so secret ingredient. I use Rotel to spice things up, okay? Diced tomatoes and green chilies. Okay, that's my secret. It's my secret to everything. My guacamole, my, chicken verde casserole, whatever, Anyway, so we're going to get started. And what we're going to do first is we're going to broil our chicken. And we're going to do that in the oven instead of on stovetop. Some people like to do their chicken on the stovetop. I think it's just as easy to heat up the oven, broil it in there until it's done. I mean, just got to keep checking it. Probably about 25-30 minutes, I would imagine, maybe a little bit longer. But we'll check it periodically and see where it's at. So we're going to get started with that, and we'll be right back. Going to turn this to broil, not bake. We're not baking our chicken. We're going to broil it. And I'm going to turn it up, preheat it to about 350 degrees. Okay, so we're heating up our oven. What I've got here is 5 small to medium pieces of chicken breasts. They are partially frozen right now, so that obviously they will thaw as they cook, I hope, as long as it's a decent stove, which I'm assuming it is. Got the thumbs up from Mr. Todd Hilton, running camera for me. Thank you, Todd. We know because we just used it. Actually, his wife just used it a little while ago. So anyway, so we know it works. This is good. So we're waiting to preheat the oven and give you an idea of what you're going to need here for this recipe. Handy dandy little card here. You're going to need 1 can of Campbell's creamy chicken verde soup, and that's a fairly new soup that they've got out on the market, and it's very good as far as using it for cooking things like this, and it'll give it that spice, a little bit of spice, but not much. What's going to really give it a bit more of a zest is our Rotel diced tomatoes and green chilies, which I like to use in just about everything. Put it on my breakfast cereal every morning. It's just good stuff. Anyway. So you're going to need that. You're going to need a half cup of water to go with that soup. A half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 cups of cubed cooked chicken, which is what we're going to be doing here. We're going to cook that, and then once it's fully cooked inside and out and has cooled down a little bit, we'll start to cube that up. You're going to need 4 flour tortillas, 8-inch tortillas, which I would say soft taco size. Most packages of tortillas will not tell you what diameter they are. They go by burrito size or gordita size or soft taco size or whatever. What I'm using is what they consider a soft taco size, and I figure that's probably about an 8-inch round tortilla. I haven't seen any square tortillas. I'll have to look for those. You'll also need at least a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, but what I use is the Mexican blend cheese. I mean, we're cooking a Mexican dish. I use the Mexican blend cheese. I mean, that's just the way I am. So anyway, and I'll probably end up using closer to 2 cups of cheese because I like cheese. I'm a cheese lover. You got chicken, you got a creamy chicken verde sauce. You got to have a lot of cheese. That's what holds this stuff together, man. The cheese. It's the glue that holds your chicken verde casserole together. Wow. Anyway, So those are your ingredients, and it looks like our oven is preheated. Thank you, Holly, for using it just a little while ago and heating it up for us. So it didn't take very long for it to get to 350, so we're going to put our chicken in there. And I would say probably, because it's frozen, I'm going to say probably a good 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, well, while my chicken is cooking, we're going to do a little more prep work. What we want to do with our tortillas, it calls for 4 8-inch tortillas. These might be a little smaller than 8-inch, looking at them now. What you might want, like I said, these are home style tortillas. These are probably soft taco size. You could probably even go with burrito size, or these come in usually packs of 10. Go ahead and get the smaller size, and you just have to cut up more of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut these into strips. I'd say about a 1/2 inch wide, roughly, somewhere around there. I'm cutting these 4 at a time. That's why I'm going to have to press down a little bit harder, because I'm doing 4 at a time here. Get some of these strips out of the way. And just kind of drop those in there. Drop those into your mixing bowl. And that's 4 of them. I might want to do a couple more. I'll show you here. That doesn't look like it's making a lot right there, so we might go ahead and do a couple more. We're going to take our Campbell's Southwest style creamy chicken Verde soup. And Verde, by the way, is actually the Spanish word for green. So I'm assuming that's because there's green chilies in the soup, which you can kind of see on the spoon there if you look closely. So that's where they get the Verde, is Verde being green. So says Kermit the Frog. It's not easy being green. Hey ho, Kermit the Frog. No, never mind. Not gonna do that. Not gonna go there. So we're gonna combine our soup and our water and our rotel. Actually, Todd made a version of this just, for dinner for us while I was up here visiting one night. He said, "Hey, have you eaten dinner?" I said, "No." He said, "Well," he said, "you gotta try this recipe." So he whipped up a batch of it real quick, and I was very impressed. But he didn't have any tortillas, so what he used, and what you can use if you don't have any tortillas, but most folks have some sort of pasta shells or macaroni or any kind of pasta shells will work in place of the tortillas. Egg noodles is what Todd ended up using, but you could use probably just about any kind of pasta, cooked pasta in place of it. So, and now we're going to add our mostly drained rotel. I mean, there's a little bit of juice left in there, but not enough to make it soupy. Plus, that's going to give it a little more color also. And color is good, So you're getting a double dose of your chilies, because you'll have green chilies in your soup and you have your chilies in your rotel. So you're getting a double dose there, and then we need a 1/2 cup of water. Perfect. Okay. We're going to go ahead and mix these tortilla strips in to the rest of our mixture here. And it probably doesn't look very appetizing as it is right now, as it sits, but another thing you could probably add into this mixture if you wanted to would be maybe a little bit of sour cream. If you wanted to, you could probably even put some of your cheese in now and then some on top if you wanted to. But then once the chicken is done and cubed up, we're going to add that in there. Then we're going to spread it into a, it calls to be put into a 2-quart glass dish, but what I've got with me is actually a 13 by 9 glass dish that will spread in there. And I don't know, we might want to cut up a couple more tortillas. It just, for some reason, it just doesn't look like it's going to be enough for that 13 by 9 pan. But so we might just go ahead and cut up a couple more. Also, oh, I almost forgot our garlic powder. And we need about a half a teaspoon. Suppose we could actually measure it, huh? Yeah, half teaspoon up there. Half teaspoon. You the man, Todd. You the man. Todd Hilton, not just a cameraman anymore. Okay. Todd Hilton. He's not just for breakfast anymore. Not sure what that means, but we'll just go with it. We're going to sprinkle that in there. Half teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. Put our lid back on there. And thank you to my mother for letting me borrow that. This doesn't look like a lot in here, but I think once we get our chicken cubed up and put in there, it's going to look like a lot more. And I think what I'm going to do, this is actually 2 full cups of shredded cheese, and it only calls for a half a cup. So we've got plenty. Gotta have lots of cheese. This is one thing that Todd and I definitely agree on. You can never have too much cheese.
Cheese good.
Cheese good. I'm going to go ahead and mix some cheese into our mixture. Not a whole lot, because we're going to want to save some for the top. So I'd say about that much there for now. Mix that in. Make a nice big gooey mess. Just the way we like it. Now once this is all mixed up and in our pan, we're going to want to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes or until it's heated up. So, because basically everything in here will be cooked. It's just a matter of heating it up. And so, all right, it's been 25 minutes since we put our chicken in the oven. So we're going to check on that. We're going to check our chicken. Yes, please check your chicken at the door. It's done on the outside, so what we're going to do now is we will transfer this to a plate. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'll take this here steak knife. We're going to cut it into, we're going to have to cut it up anyway, so don't worry about cutting it because you're going to cube it anyway. That one's done. You're going to want to cut into all pieces and make sure it's done on the inside on all of them. And like I said, don't worry about cutting it up because you're going to be cubing it anyway. That one appears to be pretty much done. We might stick that in the microwave for about a minute. It looks like a little bit of a pink spot there. We'll just go ahead and put all of them on here. Chicken smells good though, I'll tell you. I love the smell of fresh cooked chicken. Almost reminds me of Thanksgiving, because chicken and turkey smell so much alike. It just reminds you of the holidays. I mean, even if it's just chicken, it still smells really good. So we're going to transfer those into the microwave. And I'm going to go 130, full power, cook. Okay, so once those come out of there, we will let them cool off just a little bit to where we can work with them. And we'll cube them up. They're already about halfway cut, so we don't have too much more cutting to do. Okay, well, some of our pieces are cool enough that I can start working with them a little bit. So we're going to do that. Some of them are probably still kind of warm, but cube it up a little bit. GameCube it up. I'm gonna Nintendo GameCube that up. Just add that to the mixture as we go. And I think our oven's ready to go as soon as we get this all done. Almost done cutting up our chicken. And like I say, once we're done cutting the chicken, we'll mix that in to our tortilla and soup mixture. And once it's mixed, we will put it in the pan. The oven is ready and waiting for our casserole. 2 more small pieces left to cut up, and we will be ready to rock and roll. Rock and or roll. Because, you know, as we say in the rock and roll world, party on, dude. And this is a party unto itself, this dish. I would imagine you could use this as a main dish, or you could probably even use it as a side dish if you had something to go with it. We're going to use it as a main dish. This is going to be our dinner tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and toss that little piece there because it's kind of tough. Okay, our chicken is now officially cubed. You got served. Oh, you got cubed. Oh, okay. All right. I'm an idiot. You don't want to listen to Johnson because he's a moron. Mixing our chicken into the tortilla mixture here. What we got in here is garlic powder, chicken Verde, or well, creamy. I think it's creamy chicken Verde soup. Yes, creamy chicken Verde soup. Water, some cheese, some rotel, and cubed chicken in tortilla strips. So now, just so that it doesn't stick to the pan, we're going to get out some Pam cooking spray, and we're just going to spray it all over the stove before. Right. Make sure it's well coated, and then come around to this side. Okay. And we're just going to plop that on in. Let's see, That's an old cooking technical term there. We're going to plop it on into the pan. Just try and spread it around as evenly as possible. Try and get as much of that good stuff out of the bowl as you can. Alrighty, that's fairly even there. Now, like we said earlier, you can never have too much cheese. At least not if you're Todd and I, anyway. So now we're going to spread some more cheese on top of the stove. We're just going to add the rest of that. So we got 2 cups of cheese in this recipe where it only called for half a cup. But you know Todd and I, if you know Todd and I like we know ourselves, a half cup of cheese in a casserole this size, never enough. No way, ain't gonna happen. Yeah. It's like quick, go to the store, get me about 4 more bags of this stuff and dump it on top. Then you might have enough cheese. Okay, now it's ready to go into the oven. Preheated our oven to 350. And we're going to put this in for about 25 minutes or until hot, is what the recipe says. So, we're going to let that go for 25 minutes, and when we come back through the magic of television, we're going to have a wonderful chicken Verde casserole. Alrighty, through the magic of television, as we always say, it has been 25 minutes, and our dish is ready to come out of the oven. So let's go to the replay. Oh. And voila, you have chicken Verde casserole. Looks good enough to eat. And if you know you're going to be making this in advance, like a day or 2 in advance, you might want to take your chicken out. If you're using frozen chicken, take it out a day in advance, thaw it out, and you could even go ahead and cook it up and cube it up and then put it in a Tupperware container or whatever so that it stays fresh, so that when you are ready to use it, it's ready to go, and that'll cut down a little bit on your prep time too. So anyway, ooh, that smells good. Dish up a little bit, and you know, a good side dish for this would be, if you like them anyway, would be refried beans or Spanish rice would be really good with this. Vegetables, I would recommend corn. Alrighty, let's give her a shot here. Get a piece of chicken in there. Still a bit warm. Oh man, this is a definite keeper. Very, very good. And like I said earlier, you can make this with egg noodles also. Instead of, if you don't have tortillas sitting around, but you have a package of egg noodles, just cook up the egg noodles like you normally would for pasta, and mix the egg noodles, the cooked egg noodles, in with the rest of your mixture, and bake it. Same thing, 350 for about 25 minutes. So give this a try. This is a chicken Verde casserole, and it's kind of like a chicken enchilada dish almost, but I think it's a little bit better. Well, that was our recipe for a chicken Verde casserole, and we hope that you'll try that soon. And once you try some of these recipes, email us at nowherevideo.tripod.com and let us know what you think of the recipe that you tried. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, or if you had an ingredient that you added to it to make it even better, let us know, and we can add that to the website maybe, and for suggestions to spice up the recipe. Anyway, that's going to do it for this edition of Nowhere Videos Meat and Potatoes. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to thank, as always, behind the camera when I'm up here cooking, Mr. Todd Hilton. I'm Mark Johnson. Good taters, good meat, good grief, let's eat. Bye, everybody.